had the honor and privilege of not only knowing Dave, but to be able to call him my friend. Of course, for anyone that knew Dave, knows this. If he knew you, he instantly considered you a friend and welcomed you into his life and heart with open hands. And to know Dave Duncan was to love Dave Duncan. Dave had a heart the size of the state of West Virginia and would do anything he could to help out anyone that he could in any way that he could. I first met Dave in the spring of 2010 as Covey Pro was preparing for our big annual wrestling event at Berkeley Springs High School, and Dave was working at Maria's Garden Inn at the time and offered some of the wrestlers that were traveling long distance free hotel rooms for the night. Well, after coming out and watching just one Covey Pro show in April of 2010, Dave was hooked. And Covey Pro and everyone involved with Covey Pro had gained a new friend and trusted ally for life. It wasn't long after that Dave started helping out with production and whatever tasks that he thought he could handle to help and assist Covey Pro and everyone in the organization, both professionally as well as personally. He was never short to task. Professional tasks, which included and were not limited to setting up and tearing down the ring, running the hard camera, working the gorilla position, running the entire production team for live events, as well as the weekly TV show on WJAL. Coordinating messages and taking care of talent, making copies of show posters for distribution, printing off and cutting out tickets, serving as the IT and liaison for both the Covey Pro website and Facebook page, making deposits into the company account, show programs, sponsorship packets, press releases, DVDs, T-shirts, chairs, security, all the way to his last duty at our last show of running the front gate, taking tickets, and being responsible for the cash register. Yes, sir, Dave Duncan has at one point done every single job that there is to do in Covey Pro Wrestling, except for actually getting in the ring and wrestling, which he often joked about and expressed an interest in doing. I mentioned earlier about Dave having a heart the size of West Virginia. Just to give you an example of this analogy, just a couple of weeks ago on May 18th at Covey Pro's last show to date, we were setting up the arena, and Skippy, our sound technician, had some new lights for the entranceway, and Skippy told Dave, if you guys want these lights permanently, I'll sell them to you for $300. And then Dave said, like he did so many times, let me go talk to Cody. So he comes over and tells me about the lights and asks me if I want them. And I said, Dave, I don't even know how we're going to make payroll tonight. We can't afford them. And Dave replied, damn it, I didn't ask you if we could afford them. I asked you if you wanted them. Then I replied, well, yes, of course I'd like to have them. Dave said, okay, and walked away, only to grab his checkbook and write Skippy a $300 check on the spot. And then he looked back at me and said, the lights are taken care of, and that's just the kind of person Dave was. And I could go on and on all night with stories like this about Dave, because in some way he touched the lives of every single person he came into contact with. There are several stories of people being short on money and Dave being there to help them out however he could. Whether it was someone who didn't have the money for training, a training clinic with the Tonka that Dave would sponsor, or if someone wanted or needed some new gear, Dave would help pick out what they needed and would pay for it out of his own pocket and utter back those famous words, just pay me back whenever you can, and if you can't, don't sweat it. Dave touched the lives of everyone in our business, whether they were a trainee just starting out in wrestling school like Chris Morgan, who messaged me the other day in regard to Dave's passing. Dave was like a father, brother, and one of my best friends. All the way up to a top star within our industry like Mickey James, who messaged me this the other night about Dave. Please send my condolences to Dave's family in the locker room. He was such a sweetheart. From the bottom all the way to the top, Dave made a lasting impression on everyone inside and outside of our business. And these are just a few of the reasons why everyone loves Dave. And this wasn't just limited to the wrestling business. Dave was very active within his community and other places as well, whether it be at the courthouse or sheriff's department, working on and fixing computers, or offering up a helping hand at the Sprint store or the car wash. He often enjoyed trips to the flea market on Saturdays and spending time with his good friend Greg Miller and other friends as well. He was also known to close down a bar or two with good friends as well. A story comes to mind of Dave and Mike Stotler, a.k.a. Larry McLovin, emptying a margarita machine not once but twice in the same night, and having to get a police escort ride back to the hotel, courtesy of the mayor of Philippi, West Virginia. Yes, indeed, Dave was loved by everyone, and he loved everyone right back. But he loved no one more than his daughter, Olivia. Olivia, your dad loved you more than anything else in this world. He always was looking out for your best interest at heart, and everything he did for you, he did out of love and the goodness of his heart. We should all be so lucky to have a father like that, and you were truly blessed to be able to call him Dad. And I hope that you know that and will never forget that, and I'm sure you will not. So, in closing, I'd just like to say how proud, honored, truly blessed I've been to know Dave Duncan. And I don't want to start thinking about the things that I should have done. This good man right here. I can only try to live as good a life as he did, so that I may be reunited with my friend one day in heaven, where I know Dave is now helping the Lord prepare his kingdom for all of us to come home one day for the eternal Covey Pro Battle Royal at a venue inside the pearly gates where the streets are made of gold. Thank you all for listening, and God bless Dave Duncan.
Amen.